So what if I told you that the solution to your money problems isn't actually more money? It's this belief that so many of us have, right? That if we could just earn a little more, all our problems would just melt away. Well, in this explainer, we're going to dig into why that might just be the biggest financial myth out there.
I mean, this thought right here, this is the starting point for pretty much everyone. It's that little promise we whisper to ourselves that a bigger paycheck is the secret key to a calmer, better, less stressful life. It feels so real, so logical. But is it? Let's, really break it down.
And that promise, it's so seductive, isn't it? We picture this future where financial stress just evaporates, a world where our relationships aren't constantly strained by arguments over money, where we can finally walk around with our heads held high, full of this new self-confidence. That's the dream that a higher salary is selling us.
All right, but what happens when that dream actually comes true? This is where things start to get really, really interesting. Let's explore what happens when the money actually starts to roll in, and I'm going to introduce a concept called the amplification effect.
So you did it. You got the raise, you landed that better paying job, and for a little while, man, it feels fantastic. You get this sense of pride, this feeling of, I finally made it. But then, a few weeks, maybe a few months later, that old familiar feeling of unease just starts creeping back in. The anxiety didn't actually leave, it just put on a different disguise. Yeah, and the worry itself completely transforms. It goes from a very straightforward, simple problem, hey, there's no money in the account, to something way more complex and, frankly, overwhelming. It's not about survival anymore. Now it's about, where do I invest this? Am I making the most of it? Oh my God, what if I lose it all? The stress is still there. It's just wearing a much more expensive suit.
And this all leads us to a really crucial realization. If you're counting on money to fix that feeling of chaos inside you, you're probably looking in the wrong place. Money just acts like a giant megaphone for your inner state. It doesn't change who you are at your core, it just makes you more of what you already are.
And this is exactly the amplifier effect in action. Think of money as a tool. It just reveals the skill of the person holding it. If your inner world is already a bit disorganized and chaotic, more money just gives you more things to be disorganized and chaotic with. But if you're already disciplined, if you're clear-headed, money becomes this incredibly powerful tool to build on that solid foundation.
So you can see this brings us to a major turning point. Because if more money isn't the solution, then we have no choice but to look deeper. We actually have to confront the real issue head-on.
This is the light bulb moment. It's both liberating and, let's be honest, a little bit scary. It's that realization that the source of all that anxiety isn't the number on your bank statement. It's your own internal operating system. The problem was never outside of you. It was inside you all along. You just can't add inner peace or financial discipline to your Amazon shopping cart. It doesn't work that way. These are qualities that are built, brick by brick, not bought. They come from doing the tough, day-to-day work of getting your own thoughts, your own decisions, and your own life in order.
Okay, let's look at a super practical example of this inner messiness. How many of us have asked ourselves this exact question? Why can't I save money? It feels like it's an external problem, right? A problem with our income. But let's peel back the layers on that excuse for a second.
And here it is, the classic disconnect. The excuse we tell ourselves is always about the amount. I just don't earn enough to save. But the reality? The reality is often about the system, or, the lack of one. The real reason is a missing habit, a missing internal structure. When your income goes up, the excuse disappears. But the problem? The problem is still there.
So, confronting this means asking some really tough, really honest questions. It means you gotta look in the mirror and ask, why do I avoid looking at my bank account? What am I putting off? Why does it feel like my spending is just on autopilot, totally unconscious? The answers might not be comfortable, but believe me, they are the very first step toward financial freedom. Okay, so we've figured out the problem is internal. Now what? How do we actually start to fix it? Well, it's not about some huge, grand gesture. It's all about small, consistent actions that build order from the ground up.
This is such a powerful rule to live by. It just instantly grounds you in the present moment. Instead of daydreaming about what you're going to do with some future lottery win, it forces you to be a good steward of what you already have, right now. It's like a reality check on your ambition that puts responsibility first.
I mean, this question just cuts right to the heart of it all, doesn't it? The basic principles of managing money are the same, whether you're dealing with small amounts or huge amounts. Building the discipline to manage $100 well, that's the essential training ground you need before you can ever hope to manage 10,000.
So what does this look like in practice? It's not nearly as complicated as it sounds. First, just create a simple budget. Seriously, just know what's coming in and what's going out. Second, invest a little bit of time each day, maybe 30 minutes, in your own financial education. And third, break the taboo. Have open, honest conversations about money with your family. These small things, when you do them consistently, they create massive order over time.
And that really brings us to the core takeaway here. The danger isn't that money will fail to fix you. No, the real danger is that your unaddressed inner turmoil will completely poison your relationship with money, turning what could be a tool for freedom into a constant source of stress, no matter how much of it you have.
So let's wrap all this up with one final question. I want you to think of it as a little litmus test, one that can reveal everything about your current relationship with money.
Seriously, think about that for a second. Be honest with yourself. If a big chunk of cash just landed in your lap tomorrow, would it bring you clarity and peace and a sense of direction, or would it just amplify the stress, the indecision, and the chaos you already feel? Your answer to that question tells you everything you need to know about where the real work truly begins.